Thanks to the eBeef team and also to Future Beef for hosting this and inviting Goanna Ag to be part of the online series. And yeah, hello to everyone. I'm David Ward. I'm Sales Manager for Goanna Ag based in Dubbo in New South Wales. Goanna Ag are based in Underwindi. Have been participating in the ag tech, remote sensing and telemetry space for about 15 years. Primarily in irrigation scheduling, weather stations and irrigation water management. But in recent years, we've extended our reach and operate in all states in horticulture, cropping, pasture, grazing segments in Australia. And we've just recently engaged into the US irrigation industry as well. So, you know, our big mantra really is to deliver next generation smart farming practices through low cost, low power and long range, given the scale and vastness of Australia and the landscape that we all work and live in. What we do is we focus on four main sectors, I suppose: soil, water, weather and inventory. So soil, from that part of view, our primary business has been, in the past, has been soil moisture probes, canopy temperature sensors and the likes, to see what a crop does in the profile, as far as where it's utilising its water and root system in the profile, and also where irrigation water and rainfall and what impact that has in recharging that profile. We also do irrigation channel, farm storages and tank water monitoring. And one of our core or flagship parts of the business is our weather station network. We've got nearly 600 Bureau certified weather stations across Australia now, probably at least upwards of 400 rain gauges across Australia as well, all working together. We've just recently deployed 100 new rain gauges in South Australia and Victoria as well, attached to some grain area contracts, which is an interesting new space. And then finally, inventory, which is fuel tank monitoring, stock and domestic water, liquid fertilisers, and another big project. We've just deployed 100 liquid fertiliser end tank devices in Western Australia to monitor upcountry liquid fertilisers. So here we go. So our involvement in the eBeef project has really been aimed at three, I suppose, the most critical factors in agricultural business: the local and regional weather and climatic reporting, your on-farm rainfall and rainfall distribution, and on-farm water management. And we like to say, if you don't measure, you don't accurately know. So to have all sorts of devices out there measuring and monitoring is critical to any farm business, let alone any business. So with the rainfall, you want to measure it, and if you have the ability to be able to measure variability across your place or across your region, you have much better ability to adjust your management and see where, I suppose, growth rates are and are not, what country is punching above its weight and isn't when it comes to rainfall and growth rates. And then from a stock water point of view, is having that security to know that your mob's got quality water. Plenty of people have lay awake at night wondering whether or not their animals have got water, and then I suppose lying awake at night knowing what jobs you do and don't have to do tomorrow in relation to those matters as well, whether you send a work crew out to an area that's just had rain or whether you send a crew out to fix a water point. To know that before you even headed out is becoming an essential item. So our position, as I said, is to solve some economic and management issues, make it simpler, smarter and cheaper connectivity. And that's a big challenge that we all face, given the size and scale of our farms and the Australian landscape. And with a range of our products, we can connect farmers simpler, smarter and cheaper, those key factors. Some of the big key issues that we come across, though, are power sources and robustness of devices, particularly in our extreme climatic conditions, with be it animals around water points, be it the clumsiness of staff and self and the likes of. But just as I suppose a quick example, we developed an irrigation device that measures channels and and watermarks with a very simple little sonar device, and it'll run for the whole summer just on one 3.5 volt AA battery, just giving measurements for a farmer to look at channel height for his irrigation water or trough height and the like. So, but again, those challenges come with power source and robustness. But as things develop, we can change that. As far as matching your suite or your need of products, we've got obviously a range of sensors, as I said, from rain gauges to tank monitors, weather stations and soil probes. But to really simply, we find the sensor that is suitable for your need. We match that with a network connection depending on where you are. And then that device then can transfer that data for analyzation in the cloud, and then view that either on the app or on a PC platform. So you're armed and ready for action. As far as our connectivity to devices, we've got three main levels of connectivity: the old ever variable, reliable NextG network, which has got a new platform coming out of it, which will be a data-only platform. They'll be able to, called Cat M1. They'll be able to send and receive data 50 to 100 kilometres from towers. So a lot of our devices are going to have that or have that connectivity capability already. It was mentioned earlier about accessing or knowledge about the LoRaWAN network, which for people who don't know is a low power, long range network. For better words, the way I like to look at it is it's like UHF, but for data only. So very low cost, low power usage along the LoRaWAN devices. And then our new partnership is with an South Australian company called Myriota, who have launched some satellites that we have our satellite devices talking off. So our devices can be connected depending on where and what you've got. As I mentioned, our signature product is our weather station network. We've got some 600 weather stations now across Australia, Bureau certified. They're taking everything from temperature, wind, rainfall, solar radiation, humidity, soil temps. So that data is able to analyse and link those to moisture probes and growth rates of crops and pasture. For spray activities, we measure delta T and inversion levels, so very important in this if you're doing any application. And also a new app that we've attached to our weather station is our heat load index, which for anyone who's got intensive animals and EPA regulations that they need to adhere by, you've got real-time heat load index on animals. So if you're in a feedlot or dairy and the likes of, we can monitor those stress-related timings for your animals. The visual of this is either on PC or on your smart device app, be it iPod or Google platform. Great for looking it out in the field. Obviously, some people don't have mobile connectivity, but those that do have the access to utilise their smart devices, these weather stations are updated every 10 minutes. But the limitations are that at the moment that they are only in NextG or Telstra coverage. But for environmental recording, insurance, general knowledge, and the one that a lot of my clients really love is the kids at boarding school love to have the app on their phone and compare who's had rain at what farm over the others, and that gets them really involved with what's going on at home, which is important. Very easily able to access graphing data of your weather and spray records in either a PDF or a CSV file to upload into whatever web and farm management capability. We're in negotiations with the likes of AgriWeb and Maya and AgWorld to upload some of this data for easy recording, and we'll soon have forecasting on our weather stations as well, which will be important for irrigation scheduling and planned events, no doubt on every farm. This little device, which is our automatic rain gauge, is, from my point of view, but having an agronomic background, is a no-brainer. I think they should be literally scattered across the countryside and across everybody's farms. They're more than just a rain gauge. The images you see there, obviously the one on the left is the rain gauge, and then the top right is, just to give an example, it's 3,500 acre property on the Liverpool Plains near Goanna Ag. There's 7 rain gauges and a weather station on that place. It's primarily malting barley production. Year to date, there's nearly 60 mils of rainfall variation across that farm. Now, you know, if you're up your way in Queensland and you're 400 to 450, that's about a 15% variation year to date on your rainfall. What does that sort of equate to in regards of, you know, crop growth or pasture growth and dry matter content for working out your grazing management and patterning? I think, you know, and that's in having the ability to have that before you've even left the shed. The other one, mapped down the bottom there, is showing some of the accumulated rainfall and variability across, and that mapping or splining mapping variability, we'll have access to that later on this year as things develop with the universities. There's some simple graphing of the connectivity, and you can see the rainfall there, be it hourly or the likes of. This is a rain gauge in one of the LoRaWAN networks, so it's measuring basically every hour. Then our tank monitors, we have a GoTank Sat and a GoCombo Sat device out there in NextG, LoRaWAN, and in satellite connectivity. At the moment, those satellite devices are only reporting every 2 to 3 times a day, just with the satellite passes that we have. Currently, Myriota, our satellite partner, I've got 1 satellite up there, and so we're getting 2 to 3 passes a day of that satellite to upload those readings, and every satellite after that we upload will have a 3 to 4 times a day factor of reading. So our readings will improve over time, and your accuracy and more reliable and more frequent reading will come through. There's some of the graphing, obviously quite similar to some of the other components out there on the marketplace, but, you know, being able to see where the weak points in your system, being able to graph, seeing where where the water usage is by the animals, how your pumping rates are going, you know, being able to similarly look and download that data and look at it and see, well, you know, do we look at off-peak power, do we look at solar, when are our pumping costs, and the likes of, being able to be better utilised economically. From a price point of view, probably the big difference in our satellite devices particularly is our ongoing annual fees. Take, for instance, the GoTank. It's $11.25 for a tank, which includes the first year of data and connectivity, and then it's $120 a year thereafter. The GoCombos, they will be $16.50, including the first year of data and connectivity, and then $120 a year for annual connectivity afterwards. And that won't change as we launch more satellites and have more ability. As far as our alarming goes, that is about to come up on our app. We've had some challenges, I suppose, with that in regards of, if anybody's done a lot of electronics in alarming, there can be sometimes a lot of white noise and pings coming to you that can give you false alerts, and sometimes that white noise can get in the road of you checking the app or the likes. So we're very critical, and we've got a lot of feedback coming from our partners in that, in MLA, Sydney Uni, Local Land Services, and obviously private landholders from there. Again, our partners and collaborators, MLA, Sydney Uni, GRDC, CRDC, CSIRO, and Deakin, and obviously the e-beef project. We've got a lot of commercialisation partnering in that DigiFarms projects, be it drift, inversion towers, weather station networks. Obviously with the LLS, we're doing TSR water trials as well for the stock routes. So exciting space to be in, and very excited to be part of the eBeef project. So thank you, John, and thank you folks for listening.